We are now back on 700 WOW Reds Radio Network as we're seeing the great pitch to Max Fried against Aristides Aquino at the beginning. That ball was a 79-mile-an-hour curveball, over 3,000 rotations per minute, 30% more than average, 10% more drop than average, and 1% more break than average. And there was a 17-inch total break on that nasty slider. Max Fried is now attempting to get Votto, Stevenson, and Senzel, the 4 through 6 hitters, out in order, as he did the first inning. Fastball on the outside part of the plate is called a ball to Mr. Joey Votto. Fried does not like that call, but he'll have to deal with it. Votto had a 136 OPS plus with 36 home runs and over 99 RBIs. He got right at 100 last year as he fouls off a pitch down the middle of the plate, 1-1 count. He has officially started his own TikTok account and Twitter account and Instagram and Snapchat. He already has a couple of TikToks and Facebook posts. He has a couple of likes on Instagram and Snapchat and followers and follows. He is liking the new him. He's going back to his old ways. He deleted his social medias in 2016 when he started to get hate for declining. And now he has re-uploaded them. He took everything down then. 6 years later, he brings it all back up. 3-1 count now on Votto as he takes he took a strike down the middle and then 2 straight balls on the outside part of the plate. So a 3-1 count. Only fastballs so far to Votto. There are no once on the lower outside part of the plate. Votto swings and misses. First out of the inning, as there was apparently already 2 strikes. 17 pitches thrown by Max Fried, 3 strikeouts, 4 outs, no base runners. That was a very good swing by Joey Votto. He hit the bottom of the baseball and just ricocheted back into the catcher Travis d'Arnaud's glove. And now comes up the second-year player Tyler Stevenson. He was expected to have a huge role in this Cincinnati Reds 2022 team, as he takes a fastball high, 0 balls, 1 strike to Tyler Stevenson. There's been a lot of strikes called so far this game that were very questionable, and that was one of them. The next pitch by Max Fried is a curveball down to the dirt, and that hit Tyler Stevenson. That hit Stevenson right on the back foot, as now he will hobble over to first base for the Reds' first base runner of this new campaign. Not necessarily how you would envision the first base runner being this year, but it's Tyler Stevenson off of a backdoor slider hit by pitch on his right foot. Not a very good slider there by Mr. Max Fried. Now comes up Nick Senzel, who really needs to have a huge bounce back season for the Reds after spending the most of the last 2 years on the injured list. He came up in 19, had a very good rookie campaign, over 100 games from June to October. But since then, he has not been able to stay on the field. At one point, he was the Reds' #1 prospect in 2019 offseason. Last year, he has 55 OPS plus. The average is 100, so that is not a very good season by Mr. Senzel. Now it is 1-1 after he takes a curveball down in the zone. 20 pitches now for Max Fried. That pitch hit the zone, but it was a pretty generous call to Nick Senzel. Fried is a very fast worker, the 17th fastest worker in all of baseball, the 6th fastest in the National League, and the 2nd fastest starter in the National League. As the curveball is hung, and Nick Senzel rips it to center field for a line drive single, and that's the first hit of the season for the Reds. Now the Reds got a little bit going here with the guys on first and second. Guy on first is Nick Senzel. Guy on second, Tyler Stevenson, and now comes up Kyle Farmer, who had a great season last year. Jose Barrero would probably be the starter now if it wasn't for his wrist surgery injury. But that was a very good hit up the middle by Senzel. Right back up to Fried, got out of the way, tried to catch it with his glove, but he was a little bit too late. 101 mile an hour off the bat by Mr. Senzel. Now comes up Mike Moustakas. Moustakas takes a slider on the outside part of the plate. 1-0 count with the guys on first and second here. This is only the second lefty of the game for the Reds. Mike Moustakas and Kyle Farmer, before the game started, swapped spots. I wrote that in there wrong. So it is Moose and then Farmer, as it's a called ball up 2-0, and I would be expecting a big, juicy money pitch here if I was Mr. Mike Moustakas. Last year he had a very bad season, only played in 52 games, had a below 200 average, only had 4 or 5 home runs and 20 ribbies. He had a 45 OPS plus as the average is 100, so he was looking for also a really big bounce back campaign. That ball is hit high, but it's to the infield. It's an infield fly rule, a fly ball to Dansby Swanson. And that is how the second out of the game of the inning will go for the Reds. Now comes up the 8-hitter, Kyle Farmer, the shortstop. As I was saying before, he was a very important part of his team last year in his run. In July, he had one of the best hitting splits out of everybody in the major leagues, alone on the Reds shortstop caliber of things. So I'm very excited to see what he's going to do this year. Once Barrero comes back, I would expect him to be delegated to a backup shortstop spot or a backup in the infield spot. He can also play a little bit of catcher. They have a huge shift on him. Only one guy on the right side, pretty much the same shift the Reds put on Riley in the bottom of the first. Fried looks back Stevenson at second base, the windup and the pitch, and that's a fastball up and in to Mr. Farmer. And now the count goes 2-1 up. Farmer last year had a 96 OPS plus, the average is 100, 263 average, 63 ribbies, and 16 home runs with a 732 OPS in 147 games. He played the first 147 in the last 15, though. He did get injured with a hamstring strain, and he just sat out the rest of the year because the Reds were already struggling. He could have came back for the last series of the year against the Pirates, but the Reds didn't really have any shot there. Time is called by Kyle Farmer. He now steps into the box. Fried gets his circle change hold on the ball, looks into his sign, the windup, and the pitch, and that's a rip to left field, and that drops in front of Marcell Ozuna. They're going to send Tyler Stevenson home, and that's an early 1-0 lead for the Cincinnati Reds. Great hit there by Kyle Farmer to make it 1-0 Redlegs. This bottom of the order for the Reds has been electric. Senzel is at second base. Stevenson scores the first runs of the year for the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are up 1-0 against the reigning MLB champions, World Series champions, Atlanta Braves. Very good hard rip to left field, over 102 mile an hour off of that hit, 102.6 to be exact. And that was just a very good swing by Kyle Farmer. First and second now with the 9-hole hitter Brandon Drury up to bat. He was not expected to be on the opening day roster when they signed him. He was a non-roster invitee to the Reds. He hit a walk-off single last year against the Reds as he played for the Mets. That was the same game that Joey Votto's home run streak, got canceled off of that home run that almost was a home run off the wall. 1-1 count now on Drury as he hit the foul ball down the right field line. Scherzer is going to pitch for Drury's former team, probably on Sunday against the Nationals. The 1-1 pitch now to Max Fried is up and away. Brandon Drury pulls that to right field. That ball is drifting, but Eddie Rosario gets under it for the third out of the inning. But the damage is done off of a hit by pitch by Stevenson, a single by Senzel, and a single by Farmer to make it 1-0 RBI Farmer. Run Stevenson. We'll be back in a few on the Cincinnati Bell 700 WW Reds Radio Network.